Hey guys, Kane here. Getting back to the 1v1s now. Should have a pretty even match here. It's going to be between Saktoth and Klon. Saktoth is one of my favorite players. I think that, especially when he gives commentary, he has a lot of insight onto like the mechanical aspects of the game, the really low-level details, and I like to watch his replays to see how that influences his play. Yeah, and then Klon, of course, a very strong counterpart to him. They're actually fairly evenly matched here. 2060 LO for Saktoth and 2000 for Klon or thereabouts. So anyway, I guess we'll jump right in. The map is Badlands, I think, is the name of this one. You know what? I better check just to make sure I got that right. Let's see here. Into Battle is apparently the name of the map. So I was unsurprisingly completely wrong. But anyway, Into Battle is the map, and we'll just go ahead and jump right in. We have Saktoth. He's going to spawn in the northeast corner. He's in the green trunks, actually delaying his factory a moment, but it looks like he's going to be going shield after building a metal extractor for some reason. Red heavy tank factory coming out from Klon with the support commander. Saktoth, by the way, was using a battle commander, which is something he's mentioned he likes to do a lot. It'll be interesting to see how he uses it here. So we're going to see a Kodachi opening from Klon. It looks like bandits from Saktoth. And we should see some pretty good raiding going on between these two players on a smaller map like this. Both players have chosen the standard starting positions. Another option sometimes people take is to start up here in the corners. Oh, let me turn off the lighting. Sorry about that. Is to start in the corners here where you have the 3 metal extractors and arguably more cover since you can really only be advanced. Well, I guess actually you can go over these hills, so maybe not that much more cover, but still slightly more because there are some ridges here. And sometimes it's good for cheese builds because your opponent won't realize that he should scout up into that corner rather than down here. But anyway, when you're playing on this map, make sure to scout both starting positions when you open up. We're going to see 3 bandits now coming in from Saktoth. He's going to the standard start position, which is of course a very safe move. And it looks like that Kodachi, however, has gone down to the alternative start position. Like I mentioned, it'll be heading up and trying to, I would imagine, get into the back door of the base here, which is something we've seen on a recent cast that I made. These bandits now, looks like they're going to take a sort of out-of-the-way route here. Unfortunately, they are going to be entirely on radar while they do this, so Klon is going to know very much what's happening. Doesn't seem to be reacting to it at the moment. Just one LLT. Feels pretty confident in his ability to defend. Oh no, actually has a defender as well, and the level 1 comm with presumably some sort of, just a beam laser weapon. So that was a 50 metal morph. And we're going to see this Kodachi come in. If it gets the shot off on this metal extractor, that of course will go down. It might actually choose to go for the constructor instead, though that has quite a bit of health. I'm not sure that'd be the wisest choice for a target. Oh, he is going to go for the for the constructor as well. So it looks like he does get the shot off, and he obviously scouts the factory. He's actually going to try and hide behind the shield here. Doesn't get a second shot off to kill this constructor, but in fact is in quite a bit of danger at the moment if these bandits pursue. He's going to try and hunker down in a corner over here. An important thing to do with Kodachi is if they take some damage is to run away and use their pretty quick regeneration, you can see here, to regain some health and go back in just a minute once they're done regenerating. Of course, you'll need to keep them safe during that time. This Kodachi has made cost already, though. And it looks like this commander is going to be handling these bandits. Does lose the metal extractor, not the biggest deal. He's right here to rebuild it and begins doing so immediately. He's going to have a little bit of reclaim there as well to help make things better for him. Looks like this battle commander is going to be heading out west solo to try and expand out here. Going for a more accelerated expansion, I guess. Looks like Klon has a slight economic advantage somehow. He does have this reclaim here as well, which is going to help out for at least a little bit. He has the constructor heading out to the east with the panther to defend it. Nothing expanding out to the north or the northeast quite yet. We do see that Saktoth has taken a more central approach with his commander. He's moved it rather than completely out to the west or completely to the south, sort of southwest-ish, which gives it the maneuverability to head north or east as needed, or back to the base, of course, to defend. There is still a pretty much undefended approach through the south here. I would expect to see an LLT or something going up quickly. Wow, this is a lot of constructors from Saktoth. He must have a lot of confidence in his ability to defend this. I guess against heavy tanks, that's a fairly safe call, especially since he has so many bandits out here with good visibility of the map and asserting a little bit of map control, or at least preventing Klon from expanding completely undefended. These 2 panthers are going to come out and try and deal with these bandits. Of course, they'll overwhelm the bandits since there is like 600 metal between the 2 of them. But they can't be everywhere at once, which is one of the big disadvantages that heavy tanks have. And I would expect to see a lot more bandits coming out from Saktoth so that he can take advantage of the fact that he has like more units, so he can split them up more and find more undefended areas, which is pretty high micro, but a good way to play against heavy tanks. Another thing we could see is a racketeer to try and shut down the heavy tanks. Something else that works very well. It looks like a roach coming out. I'm not sure what that will be used against. Probably is like a pinch defender type deal. We're seeing the LLT coming up on the hill here. It's going to have quite a bit of range. If I show the attack radius, he made sure to overlap it to the very edge of the map. These bandits are now engaged in the Panthers. Not a good engagement for them, of course. They'll need to get out of there as fast as they can. These Panthers are going to have a hard time pursuing up onto the hill. They're going to need to take a bit of a wetter path, but they are faster than the bandits. These bandits are actually coming to help out their buddies, but they need to get out of there. These Panthers will absolutely tear them apart. I'm not really sure what the plan is to deal with these Panthers quite yet from Saktoth. I'm seeing a lot of bandits, so it looks like he is going to be going for the micro-intensive Raider-focused play, which is always a good choice, like I mentioned. Just one LLT to defend the back entrance here. Another LLT at the front, as we saw before, and then looks like a defender here to cover these two metal extractors. So pretty light defenses, but very consistently laid out from Klon here. And as far as Saktoth's expansion, he's now using one of his constructors to head out to the west, and another one proceeding to the south. Another one is actually up on this little hill here, and has been expanding as I was speaking about Klon's position. Anyway, he's going to be putting up some wind generators here up on the hill, trying to take advantage of the high ground energy bonus that they get. But actually, these wind generators are only producing half an energy unit per second, which I believe makes them half as cost effective as solar collectors and certainly less durable. Interesting strategy here. Putting a Stardust up here in the bottleneck, which is a great idea against tanks since they don't really have the opportunity to go up and around these ridges. You can see that they're fairly steep. I believe they might be able to go up and through here, but this access route is also covered by the Stardust, so he's actually effectively covered both of the middle approaches into his base, and he's using two roaches here to take care of anything that does manage to slip past the Stardust. This is an incredibly strong defense. Not something that I would have thought of on my own, but I definitely see the reasoning behind it. Makes a lot of sense to me. We're seeing a big group of bandits now moving down the west side, heading south into Klon's space. Klon's only hope to defend this really is the Banisher. This many bandits will of course overwhelm the LLT and the defender and the other LLT even. So this Banisher really is the only hope. He's moving into position to defend, and he's going to get a great shot off on these bandits, it looks like. If they keep getting bunched up together, three of them go down with a single volley. Another one taking LLT blast to the dome. The last and fifth bandit heading back north, trying to regroup. Going to try and attack this hill in the hopes that it's less fully defended. However, that is not, in fact, the case. I'm seeing now that this bandit getting taken out by these two defenders, and that was very unfortunate raid from Saktoth. Definitely the right idea, but not the best execution there. Excellent Banisher shot, of course, taking out three of those bandits. The LLT helped out, and then the last one trying to do what it could, but couldn't quite get away. Another larger group of bandits heading out to east, going to raid out the undefended expansion over on this hill. Certainly a great idea. This constructor seems to have stalled out a bit, probably not wanting to venture into this corner, which is typically taken by the southwest player, but yeah, it is completely unoccupied, and he's free to expand there. Doing so now, setting up a couple of LLTs to help defend it afterwards, though. Interesting to note that he's building the metal extractors first, rather than the LLTs to defend it, which is an interesting choice. I'm not sure if I would make the same one in such an aggressive expansion, but we'll have to see how it plays out here. This bandit's trying to get the surround off on the Panthers. These Panthers, however, one or two shotting the bandits, it looks like. Oh, boy, that's not very good. It looks like they just barely have to take two shots to clear them out, but even so, they have the range and the speed and the maneuverability to do it pretty easily, not to mention the HP. It looks like a Banisher went down. Oh, from the Stinger. Yeah, this Banisher's going to have to get out of range, otherwise he's definitely in trouble as well. Taking one Stinger shot to the dome, able to get out of there in time. Looks like a bunch of defenders coming up, but I don't believe they'll be able to outrange this HLT. The Stardust, absolutely no problem, but oh, and a Roach coming out, takes care of a few of those defenders, weakens one of the workers enough to get taken down by the Stinger. This other worker forced to retreat just at half health. This Banisher definitely wants to get out of there too in case there's another Roach sneaking up anywhere. Looks like this commander's going to be trying to counter defender spam. I'm not sure if that's going to work in this situation. Maybe a better choice would just be a line of bandits able to enfilade this position of defenders here. But I don't think that's what we're going to see in the end. Looks like a few more bandits and a Roach coming out to support them. Very bandit heavy play, just like I anticipated. Oh, and the air switch from Klon. One Raven up so far, another one on the way. Looks like going to continue production after that. It has one Caretaker on his air factory. Ooh, revealing the air switch a little bit too early in my opinion. Trying to bomb out this constructor, wasn't able to do so. A bunch of port coming up now along this western ridge. I think that was just a bit too soon to reveal that. And I'm not sure what that label's all about. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. These bandits coming in, clean up the defenders very nicely, just like I mentioned earlier. And they should be retreating now back to safety, but looks like the commander's going to be doing that instead. We see now a Caretaker coming up, quite a few constructors again, and a planned air switch from Saktoth here. I should mention the Saktoth has been accessing for at least the last little bit, Hear the Stardust going off, and it looks like a Reaper's going to be pressing the issue up here right against this Commander. Commander gets taken out by the Banisher. Banisher at the same time taken out by the Stinger. This Reaper's not going to be doing very well. In fact, gets taken out by the combination of the Stinger and the Stardust. Quite a bit of fireworks, and now a lot of reclaim focus in the center here. We see Saktoth has pretty decisive control over this reclaim field, covered by 2 Stardust and the HLT. Just needs to send one of his many constructors in here to take care of that. Same time, a Raven coming in to take out the Stinger. Does very well. In fact, it gets the radar with splash damage as well. Another Raven coming in here, probably to bomb out the Stardust, I would imagine. No, actually just going to be moving off in a different direction. No, coming back and bombing or not, I can't tell. Excuse me. Bandits moving in here, trying to take out these Panthers. A little bit of a suicide mission up on the western side. We see LLT is actually shooting at these Ravens. 5 Ravens up on the field so far from Klon. Actually 6. Yeah, 6 is the correct count there. Down in the southeast, we see Welder coming in. Some Welder rating, not going over as well as Klon had probably hoped there. And Swift's now coming out to take out these Ravens. The air switch coming out from Saktoth. Looks like he's going to be going heavy Swift, vying for air superiority. This is going to turn into quite a bit of fireworks. These Ravens continuing to clear out the pork in the central avenue here. Looks like a Roach is the only thing to defend, along with this remaining Stardust, which should go down in just a couple more runs. However, these Swifts are doing an excellent job of cleaning up the Ravens. Not terribly quickly, but certainly without much contest. A Hawk now coming up. Klon trying to stifle the air superiority battle, trying to take decisive control of it here with his Hawks, rather than the flex AA of the Swifts. Let's see how he does with it. Looks like this Hawk is going to get pretty good shots off on these Swifts, able to get behind them, doing tons of damage right now, scaring them right away, heading back into friendly AA territory, looping back now, take a few shots at the Hawk. Looks like the Hawk might go down here in just a few more salvos. One more AA missile should be enough to take it down. Looks like the Swift is going to loop back, more machine gun fires, and a second Hawk coming to help it out. Oh man, look at this. It's hard to say who's going to win. This Banisher trying to push forward, unable to do so. Still too much defense. It looks like one of the Hawks have gone down. Another Hawk very aggressively pushed into the enemy territory. Certainly an overextension in my estimation, although it looks like he is going to do some damage here. Getting scared away ultimately. 4 Swifts now coming to hammer down on this Hawk with his buddy there to support him, but he does ultimately go down. Same time, another Welder, excuse me, Razor firing off at the Ravens flying overhead here. Need to stay away. That Razor is going to work as effective air denial. And the Roach finally going off, going to be destroying one of the Panthers. The Banisher doing what it can against the A. I need to pause for just a moment. Really sorry about this, guys. I'll be right back. Phew, that was so intense. Okay, I got some water. My voice should be back to normal. See if I can keep going here, and we'll go ahead and get back into it. Now, we are seeing this Banisher making the push through the center like I was mentioning. We're going to see these bandits raiding out that metal extractor a little bit naked. Lots going on here on this battlefield. Definitely going to come down to the macro at this point. That is, which player can focus on the most things at once. Since we can see a lot of distractions and throws going on, and a lot of contention over this reclaim field, which is very important at this point, containing 1.7k in metal. That's almost unheard of in 1v1. So there's a ton of metal here, and both players are going to be fighting for it very hard, trying to get their share of it as fast as they can. Oh boy, and it looks like these tanks are going to come in and actually crush the salvos as well as they can, just in case Saktoth does regain control of that territory. Klon, by the way, has not expanded to the northwest, so Saktoth could also move up here to expand as well. He has taken the southeast, as we saw earlier. And this Banisher's hammering down on this Razor, continuing to deal as much damage as it can. Needs to take out the Stinger as fast as it can as well, or else it's going to have a pretty serious problem. Should be going down any moment here, and then we'll see the Razor taken down after it. This Constructor definitely needs to head out of dodge, or else he's going to meet the same fate. Looks like that Razor goes down. The only thing left is this Constructor taking a couple Banisher shots right to the shield and just hanging out, and goes down with the third one. So there we go. A Felon finally up from Saktoth, as well as an Aspis to provide a ton of shield power here, and a massive air battle going on. These Swifts want to get right out of there. Those Hawks will certainly overpower them, and it looks like this Reaper now going to be bearing down onto the heart of Saktoth's base. Absolutely the perfect call against this Felon. Going to be able to drain the shields of this Felon pretty significantly. Even this Aspis running dry now. This Felon forced to retreat. You can see sparkling without any shields. And going to meet up with the Constructor, try to get a little bit more shield power, but certainly not enough. You would expect to see a fusion plan if there's going to be an Aspis on the field. You can see that it does drain 14 metal per second when idle, and actually gets bombed out. So does the Felon immediately afterwards. Those Ravens absolutely paying off. These Hawks overextending into the Swift, over friendly AA, but I don't think that's ultimately going to matter too much. And sorry about the lag there, but looks like Saktoth had actually self-destructed, and that caused my frame rate to drop to less than 1 per second. But anyway, we saw Saktoth throwing in the towel there, so let's try let's try and recap what happened. Well, we saw pretty aggressive expansion by Saktoth, and we saw that he went with so many early constructors. We also saw that early raid in the southwest get absolutely destroyed by the Banisher. I think that could have been mitigated perhaps with better micro, but you don't really expect to see such an early Banisher, although it is becoming much more commonplace after the reroll is completed. Even though Saktoth, I thought economically was doing much better than Klon. Although looking here, look at this Solar Collector Overdrive grid. I suspect this had a lot to do with it moving into the middle and late game. Quite a bit of energy there. And we also saw that Saktoth was excessing pretty heavily. In fact, let's take a look at the statistics real quick. Let's see, metal excess. We can see that Saktoth heading into the late game was accessing more, only 830 metal, but that does make a noticeable difference. Klon, on the other hand, accessed just 470, so maybe not such a big deal. Metal production was actually nearly even until the very end here, which is very strange to see. Very interesting. Damage dealt, I guess that's not such a relevant statistic. Very puzzling to see these statistics here because really economically it was very close. And I actually had thought that Saktoth might have had the advantage, but looks like they were in fact tied after all. So why did Saktoth lose? I mean, well, I think that Klon had excellent attrition using his tanks. He didn't really suicide them or anything. He was able to build up a pretty big mass at the end, especially heading into the mid and late game economy, when you're able to begin turning out Reapers and Banishers pretty quickly. And then, of course, the air switch definitely helped out. We saw that in the crucial moments as the Reaper and Banshee were pushing into the heart of Saktoth's space after he had lost the center here, which was also a very large event in and of itself, that the Ravens came out and destroyed the very last defensive line that Saktoth had, which was, of course, the Felon and Aspis combination. I'm still a little bit puzzled. I'm not satisfied with my answer. Both of these players are so far over my skill level, it's hard for me to even figure out why one of them lost. So if you have any insights there, if there's anything I missed, or if you can explain to me how exactly Saktoth lost this game, just let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time.